Welcome to the Utah State University 2022 Honors Medallion Ceremony, an event that celebrates the accomplishments of the students who are graduating from USU this year with university honors. These graduates have demonstrated their ability, drive, and determination in completing all honors requirements, including the major achievement of an honors capstone project. Congratulations, students. You are an inspiration to us all. We are joined visibly today, not only by your faculty mentors, but also by USU administrators and members of the Honors Faculty Advisory Board. Our virtual audience also includes honors faculty and alumni, your peers and friends, and your families. I would like to thank everyone who joins us today for your support of this exceptional cohort of honors graduates. Students, we are all here because we believe in you and are proud of you and your work at USU in honors. And so, for the only time in today's virtual ceremony, I ask all of you visibly in attendance to please unmute yourselves, turn on your cameras, don't hold back, and join me in one raucous round of cheering and applause for our 2021-2022 USU Honors graduates. Congratulations, students. It is a big achievement to graduate with university honors. Each one of you has shown the curiosity, creativity, courage, and community engagement that define an honors Aggie and embody our program's motto. From the poet Horace, Sapere aude, or dare to know. Your honors medallions feature these words. I'm wearing one too to join with you today, and thus represent your accomplishment in successfully taking that dare. This year, we asked your faculty mentors to present the medallions in advance so that you could wear them today. I hope that you will wear them with pride at USU commencement and at your college ceremonies, and that you will continue to be proud of your honors work for years to come. To show you how much Utah State University values your achievement in graduating with university honors, we are pleased to welcome here today Vice Provost Paul Barr, who would like to take a few moments to congratulate you. Thank you for joining us to celebrate our students today, Dr. Barr.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Congratulations, students and mentors. USU is proud of our honors program, and we are thrilled for each one of you outstanding graduates today. On behalf of the faculty and administrators here today, I want to emphasize how proud we are of your achievement in graduating with university honors. Each one of you honored Aggies embodies the best of Utah State University. The USU Honors Program has given you the opportunity to put your classroom knowledge into practice, not only in your capstone projects, but in all kinds of research, creative works, community engagement efforts, internships, peer teaching and mentoring, and many other forms of experiential learning. You have all taken the honors Dare to Know. And we hope that you will continue to do so as you graduate and become the leaders of tomorrow. Congratulations.
Thank you, Vice Provost Barr, for your support of honors students and the faculty who mentor them on this special day. This ceremony is one of the best moments of the year. The faculty-student mentoring relationship is central to the experience of being an honors student at USU. Our program asks students to work with faculty mentors as they put academic knowledge into practice through research and creative work, internships, study abroad, service projects, honors book labs, and of course, capstone projects. I am delighted that so many faculty members could be here to tell us what they admire most about the students they mentored through the honors capstone process. In addition to these capstone mentors who you'll hear from today, honors relies on key faculty in each department to help guide and mentor students through the entire honors curriculum. While we cannot feature all of these important faculty on camera, I want to thank each one of you who's here today watching or anywhere for your work with all of our students and your support of the students graduating today. We will begin our presentation of the 2021-2022 honors graduates with the students from the Kane College of the Arts. The graduate from the Department of Art and Design is Olivia Brock, mentored by Professor Alexa Sand.
Well, I want to say that what I admire most about Olivia is how she embodies the USU mission. That is the mission of research, learning, and service to the community. obviously she's a fantastic researcher. We met through our research interests and we've worked together as co-authors actually recently on a paper. So I don't know that I need to say a whole lot more about that. She did a fantastic job on her capstone. But she's also been incredibly committed to sharing her learning and teaching with others through the UTF program and other outlets on campus. And she's also just somebody who's incredibly engaged in the community and knows everybody. So that's what I admire about you, Olivia.
Thank you. And some things that I appreciate about Alexa are, well, I've worked with her for a long time now, and over the years, she's been really great at helping me kind of realize and manifest a lot of like my ideas that I've come to her with, even if they've started off being kind of maybe really rough or unrealistic, and has helped me kind of refine them and narrow them down. But I think some of the most valuable things have just been days when I maybe come to her office feeling frustrated or stressed about a project or classes, and she always has the right words to help me calm down and to put things into perspective and to kind of break the things that I'm concerned about, into manageable parts. And finally, she's always been there to give me new ideas and encourage me to seek out new opportunities and apply for new opportunities, which ultimately have led to really great experiences that have enriched my academic experience.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Congratulations, Olivia and Professor Sant. The graduate from the Department of Music is Tanner Hancock Pruitt, mentored by Professor Craig Jessup.
Many things I admire about Tanner. It was hard to choose just a few, but these are among the top. First of all, his passion for teaching, and particularly in choral music education. His relentless quest for excellence and his positive enthusiasm, and his love of people and his desire to serve. His project has benefited our program already, and we intend to incorporate his recommendations in the years to come. It's been a great honor to work with Tanner. Congratulations, Tanner.
Thank you, Dr. Jessup. I think something I really appreciate about Dr. Jessup is he really, I'll try to keep this quick, but he really inspired my love for choral music. And going into this major, about 6 years ago, he was a guest conductor for a big project that some Utah County choirs were doing. We were doing the Mozart Requiem, and I just remember seeing him conduct, and he just, I don't know, just the way the music came alive with him really inspired me to go into this program, and kind of was the reason I came to Utah State. And he, during this project, I just got to know him as a person. He's just the most kind and accommodating and just encouraging a mentor I could have asked for. And I'm just so grateful for our time together. I truly could not have asked for a better mentor. And I'm so grateful for the time we spent on this project improving the program.
Congratulations, Tanner and Professor Jessup. The graduate from the Department of Theater Arts is Aubrey Felty, mentored by Professor Matt Omasta.
Aubrey is excellent at all she does. She is fabulous as a scholar, artist, citizen, and human being and educator. Her honors capstone, Margin of Error, is an ethnographic docudrama exploring the place and experiences of underrepresented students in higher education at predominantly white institutions. And it's an important message for everyone. I would encourage you to go out and check it out on YouTube, Margin of Error. Aubrey is the college's recipient of both the Scholar of the Year and Talent of the Year this year, making her the only student in the history of our college to win both Scholar and Talent recognition. She is going to be an amazing educator, and I admire all she's done and look forward to the many experiences she's going to have and the many students she's going to inspire.
Thanks, Matt. I would like to thank my faculty mentor, Dr. Matt Omasta, for guiding me through my capstone project, but also my 4 years at Utah State. Throughout my time at the university, Matt has also served me as an academic advisor, a director, a professor. And so my project was a really great endeavor, and it was one that was really personal to me. And that would not have been possible without his support and encouragement. And so I would just like to thank him, especially for his thoughtful feedback and for always believing me in my abilities as a researcher and creative artist and just person. So thank you.
Congratulations, Aubrey and Professor Amasta. Next, we will present the 2021 to 2022 honors graduates from the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences. The first graduate from the Department of Animal, Dairy, and Veterinary Sciences is Andy Nye, mentored by Professor Timothy Chenette.
All right. Unlike many of today's presenters, I didn't know Andy until earlier this semester because what he chose to do is so different from much of what he had done before that at Utah State. I admire Andy for taking out a project that pursued an interdisciplinary passion outside of his major, one that's outside of a narrow view of what constitutes success and what people are supposed to do in the world, and one that he clearly really enjoyed. Of all the things that one could admire, I think that's one of the most important. I admire Andy's desire to do something creative and fun, and I hope that Andy and all of you don't lose sight of what brings you joy.
Thank you. What I appreciate about most is the amount of feedback I got from the project for an short amount of time, and the amount of creativity and freedom that you let me do with this project was really nice, and I really appreciate that.
Congratulations, Andy and Professor Chenette. The second graduate from the Department of Animal, Dairy, and Veterinary Sciences is Mariah Lynn Richards, mentored by Professor Carl Hoops. Although neither Mariah, who is a fall 2021 graduate, nor Professor Hoops could join us today, I am pleased to honor their work together. Congratulations to Mariah, and thanks to Professor Hoops for mentoring. The first graduate from the Department of Nutrition, Dietetics, and Food Sciences is Annika Walton, mentored by Professor Seth Archer.
I'm happy to speak on behalf of Annika to the group. Annika has a unique ability to work across disciplines. It's something I've always admired about her. It's something I cannot do myself, and that I think very few students can do. And she shows abundant promise for a career in her chosen area. She also has a profound commitment to patient advocacy, which I've always really admired about her. And I'm happy to report that Annika will be starting an MS in genetic counseling at Bay Path University in the fall. I could not be more proud of her accomplishments.
Thank you so much. I think what I've appreciated about Dr. Archer has been in his classes and in person. It's just always fascinating. I think he's a fantastic teacher and lecturer that has always challenged me to see things from different perspectives and to try to understand more than I want to at first. And what I've appreciated most over the last almost 3 years has been just his constant support and cheerleading. I feel like the first time I came to him with a project idea, I didn't really know what I was doing, but he just like cheered for me and helped me figure out how to do it on my own. And that's given me a lot of confidence and excitement, and it's been a lot of fun, and I just appreciate everything. So thank you so much.
Thank you, and congratulations, Annika and Professor Archer. We had 2 students from the College of Ag being mentored by faculty from other colleges. Andy Nye's mentor was from the Department of Music, and Dr. Archer is from the Department of History, and Annika is in Nutrition, Dietetics, and Food Sciences. So lots of cross-disciplinary work here. The second graduate from the Department of Nutrition, Dietetics, and Food Sciences is Maren Easton, mentored by Professor Katie Brown.
I am pleased to share what I admire about Maren. So not only is she a very hard worker, completing the coordinated dietetics program, which includes 1,200 hours of supervised practice, is a challenge in and of itself. But her engagement in undergraduate research and honors and community engaged learning is very admirable. I appreciate how much Maren seeks out, welcomes, and applies feedback. She's very, very open to that, and it shows in progress that she makes. I also admire the balanced approach that Maren takes to life, that even though she's doing all of these, impressive and time-consuming and challenging things in school, she still seems to have great balance and enjoys doing other things in her life as well. So way to go, Marion.
Well, thank you, Katie, for those very kind words. So Dr. Brown has been such an amazing mentor. I have to thank her for accepting my request to help me with my honors capstone relatively out of the blue, kind of later than many honors students, but we got it done. I credit her extraordinary patience, knowledge, and kindness for the reasons that I am able to graduate with honors now. All dietetics students would agree that she always puts her students first in her work. She goes above and beyond what she's expected to do at all times, and especially as a professor. And I am especially grateful for the time that we got to spend together. If I can become even half the dietitian that she is, I'm going to be pretty amazing. But I appreciate everything she has done. Thank you so much, Katie.
Congratulations, Marin and Professor Brown. The graduate from the Department of Plant Sciences, or Plants, Soils, and Climate is Lauren Rachel McFadden, mentored by Professor Amita Kundal.
Hello, yeah, it's my pleasure to have Lauren in my lab. When I joined USU, Dr. Steve Young told me that he has a student who wants to work on molecular biology and microbiology, and then Lauren came to my lab, and she was very shy student in the beginning, but she started working and she learned so much things. She's very responsible and punctual. That's one thing I want to say. She knows her responsibilities very well. She respects deadlines, and she started working on several projects helping students, and then COVID came. So we took a little break, and then she came back again. And then we started working on this very interesting project, and she was specifically wanted to work something with roots and plants. So we figured out this project, and she did a marvelous job in that one. So I congratulate Lauren for her outstanding achievement and the very best for her bright future.
You. I really have enjoyed working with Dr. Condell because she is, I wouldn't say hands off, but she lets you learn a lot by yourself. But the second you need any help, she's willing to help you, and well, me specifically. And it's been a really enjoyable process getting to work with her and getting to learn all these different processes from her. And I just really appreciate all the help she's given me.
Congratulations, Lauren and Professor Kundal. It is now my pleasure to present the 2021 to 2022 honors graduates from the College of Engineering. The first graduate from the Department of Biological Engineering is Emily Rickabaugh, mentored by Professor Elizabeth Varghese.
Hi, everyone. So Emily and I are at a conference. It's called, the conference is the Association for Research in Vision and Ophthalmology, and we are together in Denver. And conference is being attended by over 6,000 people, and the majority of them are medical doctors and PhDs. And Emily is one of a few undergrads who is presenting at this conference. And so that right there tells you what you need to know about her. In my years of getting to know her and being able to work with her, I feel that she has pretty much the perfect blend of self-confidence and self-doubt. And that's a really important skill to have, especially in science when there's so many days of bad results and then so many days of good results. And so I really appreciate being able to work with Emily, and her slide in the intro was a little bit out of date maybe, because it is with pleasure that I announce that she will be staying in my lab for a master's and hopefully a PhD. So yeah, thanks, Emily.
Yeah, and my presentation at this conference would not have been possible without Dr. Varghese's continuous support. I knew absolutely nothing about research coming into this project, and I'm now working on writing my first manuscript as first author, so I'm super excited for just the growth I've been able to do under this lab. Dr. Varghese is one of the best mentors I've ever had, because she not only supports you as a student and a researcher, but as a person, and I wouldn't be where I was without her today.
Congratulations, Emily and Professor Varghese. It's nice that you can actually hug. That's really nice. The second graduate from the Department of Biological Engineering is Tyson Barnes, mentored by Professor Anhong Zhou. Professor Zhou could not be here today, but asked me to read some congratulatory remarks for Tyson. So Dr. Zhou says, I am so honored to have served as the faculty mentor for Tyson Barnes's honors capstone project. Tyson has demonstrated leadership in a senior capstone design team with 4 other biological engineering students on a project sponsored by a local biomedical device company. Tyson's honors capstone project truly expands our knowledge in both US and international regulatory processes of medical devices. Congratulations, Tyson.
It has been an honor working on this project with Dr. Joe. I've really appreciated his guidance and help and the way he challenged me to be confident in myself and in the decisions that I made along the research and design process for this project. He's also always been very interested in my personal goals and achievements, and he has he values me a lot more than I value myself sometimes, which has been really fun, and he's made me very excited for my post-undergrad career to come. So big thanks to Dr. Joe for all his support, and it's been a great honors experience for me.
Congratulations again, Tyson and Professor Zhou. The first graduate from the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering is Jaron Worthen, mentored by Professor Todd Moon. Although neither Jaron nor Professor Moon could join us today, I am pleased to honor their work together. Congratulations to Jaron, and thanks to Professor Moon for mentoring. The second graduate from the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering is Riley Roberts, mentored by Professor Don Cripps. Neither Riley, who is a fall 2021 graduate, nor Professor Cripps could join us today, but again, I am pleased to honor their work together. Congratulations to Riley, and thanks to Professor Cripps for mentoring. The first graduate from the Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering is Gabrielle Van Brunt, mentored by Professor Jackson Graham.
Gabby, I admire the professionalism you brought to your capstone project. You made sure that your teammates stayed informed and understood each other, and you kept meticulous notes of both internal and client discussions. And you also actively monitored the team's progress to ensure everything stayed on track. You really were a true team player. It was really a pleasure having you as a student in my capstone design program.
Thank you, Professor Graham. And I want to just thank Professor Graham. Our capstone team had a number of challenges and setbacks, especially throughout this semester as we were working on our project. And he was always more than willing to answer questions, provide suggestions, and come work with us in the lab if we needed it in order to get things working and get our capstone project done. And I'm really grateful for him and his guidance with that.
Congratulations, Gabrielle and Professor Graham. The second graduate from the Department of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering is James Anthony Mullen, also mentored by Professor Jackson Graham.
James, I really admire the initiative you brought to your capstone project. You took the initiative initially just to find your own industry-sponsored project, which was pretty awesome. And you also took the initiative to take the primary leadership role on your team, essentially being the team lead on that team. And you've also taken the initiative to keep me personally up to date on the progress of your project outside of the regular course progress updates. Really well done, James. It was also really a pleasure having you as a student in my capstone design course.
Thank you. I took another course from you, engineering graphics, and I always really appreciated all the support that you gave us. Your class is a reverse classroom format, and I felt like I really got a lot out of it, being able to watch the lectures outside of the course and bring my questions to you during class. And through the capstone as well, I felt like your lectures, assignments, and feedback really helped us get our project to a point where we're really happy with it. So thank you.
Congratulations, James and Professor Graham. Next, we will present the 2021 to 2022 honors graduates from the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. The graduate from the Department of English is Samuel Rolls, mentored by Professor Mark Damon.
I first met Samuel as an entering freshman looking for advice about classes to take. I told him about other things, including our summer ancient Greek program, but I warned him it was probably too advanced for him. He ignored my advice and thrived in the class, inaugurating a long tradition in which Samuel listened carefully to what I said and then did exactly what he wanted to do. That stubborn clarity of vision is really what stands out in my mind as I think back over my work with Samuel, that and his intelligence and fierce determination to succeed. I have no doubt he will carry those virtues into a brighter and burgeoning future. Good luck, Samuel. And if you make a lot of money on that amazing screenplay you're writing, remember who's your alma mater.
Thank you very much. I also want to go back to that first meeting because there's a kind of bit of a running joke that anytime we see someone else exiting Dr. Damon's office, we ask, oh, what did he talk you into this time? Not because of like any like incredible like debate rhetoric, although I do have a fair bit of that, because your sheer passion for the classics and things that you do care about is so infecting, making people want to get involved. And even though you told me specifically not to take that summer course, you'd spoken so like, you cared so much about Latin and had been really selling me on taking Latin. I was like, I've got to do something with the classics. So naturally I took the summer course instead. And I probably shouldn't have, but I did anyway, and here we are. So it was that passion for the classics and also pushing me to go forward and make a project better and better and continue to improve it that's got me to the project that I have now and the person that I am now. And that drive to like push me to keep making things better is definitely something I admire about Dr. Damon.
Congratulations, Samuel and Professor Damon. The first graduate from the Department of Communication Studies and Philosophy is Caitlin Rogers, mentored by Professor Matthew Sanders.
Caitlin is a joy, and she's been a delight to teach among the very brightest students that I've ever had the opportunity to work with. She's kind of like a comet. You just watch and you're in awe of all that she does. I've never had a student do what I've asked, read what I've asked her to read, and do the things I've asked her to do, and to do it so well on the first draft. She really has a very keen mind and a willingness to listen and a humility to learn. And it's students like Caitlin that make our jobs so wonderful. Congratulations, Caitlin.
Oh, thank you, Matt. As I was thinking about what I wanted to say, there was just so much I wanted to say about Matt. Matt is just the most caring of all the professors, and he's provided me excellent academic advice, but he's also offered me wonderful life advice. Matt builds up everybody around him, and he really inspires and uplifts all of his students. And he's an incredible example of all the concepts that he teaches in his classes. He helped inspire my topic of my capstone in part, and I just really appreciate that he saw me not just as a student, but as a whole person, and helped me work towards becoming the person I wanted to be and not just the capstone writer that I wanted to be. He really helped me find excitement and enjoyment in the capstone process. And I'm just super grateful that he was there to help me through it. So thank you, Matt.
Congratulations, Caitlin and Professor Sanders. The second graduate from the Department of Communication Studies and Philosophy is David Swiss, mentored by Professor Amita Kundal.
Hi, I'm again here. So, and it's my honor to have David in my lab. David joined my lab in 2019, the same year when I came to Utah State University. And first his wife came to my lab and she started working. And then next day she came and she told me, my husband also wants to join your lab. And then he came, and then we went to a small sample collection to wind caps. And I was curious about sagebrush. So I asked them, where is the sagebrush? Can you show me which one is the sagebrush? And then we came up with this idea, working on this medicinal plant. And as he's from communication studies and philosophy, and he was so interested to work on this project, which is totally plant biology kind of project. And then he got funded from ERCO for this project, and he's working for a very long period of time in my lab. And we got some exciting results. So David is one of the best students I have mentored so far, and he's very independent, very versatile. You can see from his background, and now he's doing project in plant sciences, very resourceful, and always have big smile on his face. Very responsible person. I know he has a bright future waiting for him, and he's joining University of Utah for his master's program in public health, right? So I congratulate him for this outstanding achievement, and very best for his bright future.
Thank you so much, Amita. You're going to make me cry. I want to say first that I know for a fact that there has not been a single week that passed since I started with your lab back in 2019 that I haven't emailed you or texted you or met with you about my work at least 3 times a week. So thank you for that. One thing that I really admire about Amita, and I'm grateful to her for, is that she understands that even though this wasn't the only thing that I was interested in, she was as invested in me as all of her other students, as her PhD, as her master's students as well. And I think that it really shows off. She's got 3 honors students graduating this semester, which is pretty incredible. I think one thing that really shows in her work is that when teaching and when caring for your students is your primary objective, the really cool grants, the publication, the recognition, it all just comes naturally. And that's what's happened ever since Amita started working here. It's really shown through. My favorite quote from her is from the time that I really messed up kind of an expensive experiment, my first couple of weeks in the lab. And I was really sad and I felt bad and I apologized to her and I was nervous. And she said, "Oh, it's okay. With every step you'll learn." And that's been kind of my motto for my degree. And I want to say as well that she is one of the main reasons that graduating and leaving USU is more melancholy than just happy. So we're very, very grateful to you, Amita. Thank you.
Congratulations, David and Professor Kundal. The graduate from the Department of Journalism and Communication is Libby Anderson, mentored by Professor Deborah Monson and Kenna Kessler.
Libby, you have persevered through some very difficult challenges during this project. I've admired your grit and determination, flexibility, and positive attitude throughout this experience. You brought so much passion to this project and truly drove it with your desire to improve the world and practices around you. I appreciate the opportunity I had to get to know you first as an excellent student and then as a wonderful mentee, and wish you the very best with everything in your future.
Thank you so much. Well, Kenna has been an amazing mentor for my capstone and throughout my studies, and she's been very encouraging and supportive despite all of the challenges and setbacks that we have faced and have overcome. And I'm really grateful that she agreed to mentor me and that she went out of her way to also introduce me to other knowledgeable and amazing people just to ensure that I had an overall great experience. So thank you so much.
Congratulations, Libby, and thanks to both of your mentors. I am now pleased to present the 2021 to 2022 honors graduates from the College of Science. The graduate from the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry is Keith Wilson, mentored by Professor Scott Bernhardt.
I'm excited to be able to talk a little bit about Keith. He's an incredible individual. He's personable, he's charismatic, which makes great characteristics for his future desire as a career, as a physician. He has attention to detail, and he has a real desire to effectively learn. And that was what made this particular experience working with Keith of such a real value. He worked hard, he ran into challenges throughout his project, but he learned how to work through them. And with that, he was always working hard to try and communicate with me as well as communicate with others. I think the real take home though, is when it comes to science, it's sometimes really challenging to be able to communicate or be able to show the importance of the work that you're doing. And Keith had that ability. A part of his project was the finished product was a science communication project where the state of Utah Health Department is actually taking on this particular animation and video describing Lyme disease and the threats that we have here in the state of Utah. And they're going to actually put it up on their website. And from that, I think it's really kind of a testament to show the work that Keith put into this particular project.
I'm just glad to be here today to express my appreciation of Dr. Scott Bernhardt and in the perspective that he lends to his students and how that they can go out and view where people live, agriculture, pesticide use, the sociology of everything that we do every single day. It's a huge breadth of information that he has helped me to take in, and I'll be carrying it forward in everything that I do. And with that, a great deal of thanks to him and everything that he's done for me as one of his students.
Congratulations, Keith and Professor Bernhardt. The first graduate from the Department of Biology is Eliza Stewart, mentored by Professor Abby Benninghoff. Although Eliza was unable to join us today, I am pleased to honor her work with Professor Benninghoff. Congratulations to Eliza, and thanks to Professor Benninghoff for mentoring. The second graduate from the Department of Biology is Haley Hatch, mentored by postdoctoral fellow Grace Freundlich in Professor Robert Schaefer's lab.
First of all, I just want to say it was a real pleasure working with Haley. I have worked with quite a few undergraduates, not only as a PhD student, but also postdoc, and she's by far one of the most determined and ambitious students I've ever worked with. She's very driven, she takes meticulous notes, and she's a really bright scholar, and I think she has a very bright future ahead of her. So congratulations, Haley.
Thanks, Grace. I just want to thank Grace for
really everything she's done for me over the past about year and a half. I feel like I got a little bit started a little bit late in research to get as much as I wanted to done, but then I started working with her and she just helped me get everything done that I wanted to. I learned so much. I asked her a million questions and she was never annoyed when I asked her the same question multiple times and messaged her constantly all day, even the weirdest times of the day when she was probably wanting to not talk to me. She was just the best mentor with answering all my questions and helping me learn how to be the best researcher I possibly could be. So thanks.
Congratulations, Haley, and thanks to your mentors. The third graduate from the Department of Biology is Kaden Bunch, mentored by Professor Irina Polozheva.
I met Kaden for the first time about 4 years ago when we actually were introduced by Professor Tom Bunch, Kaden's grandfather. And I greatly admire Kaden's commitment to research and also his amazing curiosity. He always trying to find additional questions and solve problems, and also his desire to learn and very strong drive to help society. So his interest, Kaden's interest, is in have a career in medical field, and his capstone project was focusing on understanding the impact of cystic fibrosis on lung development using our SHIP model. So he presented a variety of events, and also the highest probably profile of his presentation to this point, it was international meeting. So I'm very proud, Kaden, of what you accomplished so far. I'm looking forward to continue working with you. I know that you're still staying for a while here and we'll be working on some other tasks, and also watching your professional growth and development. So well done. Congratulations.
Thank you, Irina. I think my biggest thing is Irina's really been there in all the spots where I really needed help. I started in her lab basically day one of my freshman year, and I wasn't part of the honors program at that time. And I remember after about the first semester, I realized pretty early on I didn't want to have that late registration, and I really wanted that early registration. So at that point, I kind of realized honors was going to be a really keystone part of that. And so I believe there was one point where it was like 2 days before the submission portal, and I sent Irina a message and said, Irina, I know it's late. I have like 2 days, but can you write me a letter of recommendation so I can get into this program? And she sent me a message pretty quickly and says, well, sure, I'll do it. And that's kind of how our entire relationship was these past 4 years. I kind of ventured all over the place. Started out as biology, and I mean, I still am, but I did entrepreneurship, Spanish, and a lot of speeches and a lot of public speech events. And so just my time in her lab has really helped me to develop, and kind of she's fostered an environment of growth there, her and Dr. Yuri Parise. And they really helped me to grow as an individual. In this past year in particular, I was able to really enhance my public speaking. I was able to take away an international award at a DECA competition, as well as take away a poster award at the SRS conference. So just really her help has really fostered my growth and made me into the student I am today. And for that, I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Kaden and Professor Polozheva. The fourth graduate from the Department of Biology is Kayla Wasman-Swiss, mentored by Professor Amita Kandal.
Kayla is the first one to come to my lab as a volunteer to learn some molecular biology and microbiology. And she was very interested in molecular biology projects, and she was involved in a couple of experiments. And then we work with a lot of vectors, and we want to purify them. And then she developed this protocol in the lab to develop a standardized protocol to purify these vectors in the lab. But with some time, I think because of COVID and big lockdown, she has to face some depression issues. And I'm so glad that she is graduating after all those difficulties and those issues she had to face. I'm really glad that Kayla is getting through all those things, and I applaud her courage to deal with all those situations so bravely and finally graduating as an honor student. So congratulations, Kayla.
Thank you so much.
meeting Amita and running into her the way we did 3 years ago was the best thing that happened to my undergraduate career. I've never met someone who so understands her role as a mentor and puts that before anything else. She values her students and makes sure that they learn and that they know that they're her priority, which is really awesome and has been really such a big blessing to us throughout for David and I and for everyone else in her lab throughout our time here. Something I really appreciate about Amita is that she always expects the very best from you, but she also understands that your best is going to be different every day. And Amita definitely in the last couple of years has watched me hit rock bottom and then some, but she's been so supportive the whole time and has been there to pull me back up when I needed it and to give me time when I needed it, but also to make sure that I was still able to achieve the things that we both knew I could achieve. I've never met someone who is so wise and so humble, and she deserves all the recognition in the world. Thanks, Amita.
Congratulations, Kayla and Professor Kundal. We now present the 2021 to 2022 honors graduates from the Emma Eckel Jones College of Education and Human Services. The graduate from the Department of Communicative Disorders and Deaf Education is Jessica Jamil Martin, mentored by Professor Sonia Manuel DuPont.
Hi. I didn't really get to meet Jessica until this past semester because she was an online student of mine. So when she walked into my office and said, I'm really interested in doing something with endangered indigenous languages, my heart just fluttered, because most of the time when people ask me what I do and I say I work with endangered indigenous languages, they just go, oh, okay, I'm go talk to someone else. So we were both just really excited about this project and kept looking at different languages that we could highlight and looking for videos and books. And every time we met, it was, oh, I just found this, or I just found that. What do you think about this? Luckily, we had Karen DeJean-Cannon also as her mentor, who could say, okay, this is great, guys, but you got to pull it back. You can't do everything. You've got like a book's worth of stuff, and we need to stay on track. So every time we would spiral out of control, Karen would be there to bring us back to the final product. It's just been a joy getting to know Jessica. She is the librarian for the city of Mendon, in addition to being a full-time student. And she spent this last semester not only finishing her capstone, but helping the city of Mendon bring the library under the city's ownership. And that's been a large job as well. So Jessica is going to the University of Utah for her master's degree, and she's going to be enormously successful.
Thank you so much. It's been such a great opportunity to learn from you this semester. I kind of came out of the blue this semester and wanted to work on a project, but I didn't really know where I was going with it. And so Dr. Manuel DuPont has been amazing at helping me kind of, channel my passion into a cohesive project. And so I'm so grateful. One of the things I most appreciate about her was her enthusiasm about the topic in the field. It's really awesome it was just really great, that encouragement. And also Professor DeJean-Cannon has also been amazing at helping us kind of rein it back and really narrow down the topic. I also really appreciate how she has so much knowledge about it that I was able to draw from. She helped point me in the right direction with finding sources, and it was fascinating to be able to learn from her. And so I couldn't have chosen a better committee for my capstone project, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without either of them. My mentors have been amazing this semester, and I did have a few online classes, and I really feel like Dr. Manuel DuPont was the professor that I felt the closest to online, because she just made her classes so much fun, and she would send out little emails with jokes during the semester, or she would, send a checkup email to make sure we were all doing okay with COVID or when the power went out or something. So just knowing that she understands that life happens and that, things can be stressful, that was really helped alleviate some of the stress during my time at USU. So I'm just so grateful that I had the opportunity to learn from her. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Jessica and Professor Manuel DuPont. The graduate from the Department of Kinesiology and Health Science is Brinley Bleak, mentored by Professor Edward Heath. Although neither Brinley nor Professor Heath could join us today, I am pleased to honor their work together. Congratulations to Brinley, and thanks to Professor Heath for mentoring. The first graduate from the Department of Psychology is Emma Greenwood, mentored by Professor Chrissa Levin.
I have been working really closely with Emma over the last year. And Emma has been working with just one other undergraduate student to tackle this study, which is looking at intervening on a type of racial discrimination. And all year, Emma has just left me in awe. I admire the creativity and tenacity that she's shown at all levels of developing and readying the research protocols and intervention materials. I admire the unparalleled compassion and critical thinking she's displayed while working on a topic that can be divisive and can be disputed. And I am just so lucky to have been able to work so closely with Emma and see so much to admire in her strength and her kindness and honestly her brilliance that took this research all the way up to the Utah Capitol and then the United States Capitol. And I cannot wait until all of that glory is unleashed on the world. So congratulations, Emma.
Thank you so much. And I literally could not have done this without Krissa. She is incredible. And I'm so, so grateful that I was able to work with her. She pushed me and Marissa, who I worked with on this project, to apply for every conference we could. And she helped us feel prepared. And I have so much more confidence because of all of her support and all of her expertise and wisdom. And I'm so incredibly grateful that I was able to work with her this last year.
Congratulations, Emma and Professor Levin. The second graduate from the Department of Psychology is Jessica Clark-Smith, mentored by Professor Polly Conrad. Although neither Jessica nor Professor Conrad could join us today, I'm pleased to honor their work together. Congratulations to Jessica, and thanks to Professor Conrad for mentoring. The graduate from the School of Teacher Education and Leadership is Tess Turison, mentored by Professor Ryan Knowles. Tess and Professor Knowles could not join us today, but I am very pleased to honor their work together. Congratulations to Tess, and thanks to Professor Knowles for mentoring. I'm now pleased to present the 2021 to 2022 honors graduates from the John M. Huntsman School of Business. The graduate from the Department of Data Analytics and Information Systems is Hayden Hoops, mentored by Professor Mitchell Culver.
Such an honor to be here today to stand next to Hayden and celebrate his work as a student, as an honor student, as an Aggie. I think Hayden's project is unique in that it was a partnership with the Center for Student Analytics, which means that the product of the research actually gets returned back to the university to help make decisions about how to run the university more effectively. Hayden came to interact with me and collaborate on research in such a proactive and kind way. Hayden is such a good writer. I've always been impressed with his writing. It's so solid and clean, and that's going to serve him so well as he goes on to graduate school here at Utah State. Really pleased to hear, Hayden, that you're continuing your work with the data program, and just keep on doing the amazing things that you've been doing. And so pleased to see you here at the end of a journey and the beginning of another. Thanks so much, Hayden.
Thanks, Mitchell. There's a lot of things I admire about Mitchell. Like he said, we have a unique relationship in that Mitchell was my mentor, but he was also my boss for a while. Some things I really admire about him is that Mitchell always asks for feedback. And I remember that one time I gave him some really positive feedback on something he did. And he was like, no, give me some real feedback. And I think Mitchell has just taught me how to be a better leader overall. He always builds up his employees, and he always built me up and said, well, if you don't know something, like go and learn it. Like you should be building yourself up. And that's something that I think I'm always gonna keep with me in my future career. So thanks, Mitchell.
Congratulations, Hayden and Professor Culver. The graduate from the Department of Economics and Finance is Madeline Alder, mentored by Professor Jeannie Johnson.
I am so excited to have the chance to talk about Maddie. I love and adore Maddie Alder. She is a remarkable scholar. She's a deep and innovative thinker. She often asks questions from a different angle than the rest of her peers, or raises issues that none of us have thought about before. I love the way her brain works. In addition, she has a talent for visual cognition. So I have leaned on that talent more than once, asking her to help me convey to fellow undergraduates particularly complex or thorny problem sets that I'm teaching, which she's able to deliver in visuals, which has been incredibly helpful and is a talent that you don't see very often. I also really admire Maddie because she's brave. The tasks we have asked her to complete, and specifically the task that she selected for her capstone project, required a professional level of maturity and self-confidence from her. She was working with other members of a team, many of whom are faculty members and professionals in their own right. And her project was to deliver critical advice to them about how to improve the project, which she did and did in style. And our community and our nation, and it is not hyperbole to say our planet, will be better off because of Maddie's advice. It has been an honor to work with her.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored that I've gotten to work with Professor Johnson this semester. She really has been life-changing in a number of ways. I think that Dr. Johnson is a wonder, and I'm so glad to know her, and that I know that she'll be someone I look up to for the rest of my life. So I'm glad that I got to work with her, especially closely as a mentor. And there are a million things that I love about Dr. Johnson, but two that really stand out are that she's passionate and she's compassionate. So two words that sound similar but are a little different. Jeannie brings passion into the classroom. She is so enthusiastic and makes everybody in our classes that I've taken from her really excited to learn about stuff, even if it's something we don't even know very much about or wouldn't prior care about it, just because Jeannie's so passionate about it. And when she has a vision, she is good at communicating that vision, then finding a way, even if it seems like it will be impossible. And that's something that inspires me and something I hope to adopt after seeing Jeannie do that so well. And then the other thing I love about Dr. Johnson is that she's compassionate and she puts people first. Whenever you have a conversation with Dr. Johnson, she makes you feel like the most important person in the room. Like she just hangs on every word of what you say and makes you feel so important. And she really exudes kindness. And even though she's really smart and really capable, I think what makes her stand out is how kind she is. And she's taken me under her wing, and I'm grateful for that.
Congratulations, Madeline and Professor Johnson. The first graduate from the Department of Marketing and Strategy is Hajar Abir Ben Saha, mentored by Professor Shuzud Akunjanov.
All right. So it's been a great pleasure to get to know Hajar and work with her, who is, by the way, a first generation immigrant. When I first met Hajar in my undergraduate level course, she impressed me as a bright, young student with curiosity to learn about economics and its real world applications. Hajar's interest in economics culminated in her honors undergraduate capstone project, in which she showed incredible scholarship despite all the challenges she was going through in her life. So what I admire most about Hajar is that she is ambitious, she's driven, resilient, and self-motivated. And so her curiosity and leadership experience positions her well to make a personal and professional impact after graduation. So well done and congratulations, Hajar.
Thank you, Dr. Akhanjanov, and I really appreciate you for your support, guidance, and encouragement. He believed in me and my abilities to do this research when I did it. He taught me how to work harder and smarter and to never give up. And he taught me, he believed in me that I can write 38 pages in English while I did it. He motivated me even when I was giving up. So I want to say thank you in all the languages that I know. Shukran jazilan. Merci beaucoup. Tashakkurlar. Muchas gracias. And thank you to Dr. Akhanjanov and to the honors program for this great experience and beautiful journey. Thank you.
Congratulations, Hajar and Professor Akhanjanov. The second graduate from the Department of Marketing and Strategy is Tanner James Schultz, mentored by Professor James Davis.
I've got to say, it has been an absolute pleasure working with Tanner. But one thing I've got to say is we've all heard it takes a village. And I've got to tell you with Tanner, it takes a village, or in Dr. Jessup's language, a choir to sing Tanner's praises. It was amazing to me as I talked to different faculty members who'd come in and say, I'm working with Tanner on this project. I'm working with Tanner on this project. I'm giving him advice. One thing I can tell you Tanner learned is that quality research takes a number of perspectives and a lot of feedback. And so what I did was I wrote several of those professors and said, tell me what you like about Tanner. And I've had to cut back their praises significantly, but I just want to share just a few. Professor Matt Ming wrote, "The first thing that came to mind for me is Tanner's self-motivation. And everything he does it on time, if not early, and he does it well. He never does the bare minimum. I have never had to chase him for anything, and he never leaves things to the last minute." Professor Alex Romney wrote, "Tanner displays behavioral integrity. He does not let social circumstances determine who he is and how he behaves. He is the same person in every circumstance. You get what you get. That is admirable, especially in our modern world." And for me, I've got to tell you, Tanner's passion for excellence and passion to achieve have motivated me. Tanner wants to succeed. He's got that achievement motivation, and he knows how to get it done. He works hard, and he's an achiever. Tanner is going places, and I just hope when he gets there, he remembers that the Department of Marketing and Strategy is a good place for donations.
All right. The biggest thing that I appreciate about Dr. Davis is his willingness to help, his enthusiasm, and the experiences he shared with me as I pursue the path I'm on. Dr. Davis has always had the door open for me to swing by at any time, and for that I have to thank him. He's a great leader, and every professor in the MSLD department has extended themselves to me and have been amazing. That kind of stuff comes down from the top. I'm appreciative of his leadership as well. His only shortcoming, though, is that he's not a fan of the Los Angeles Dodgers, but we'll give him a little pass there. Thank you.
Go Cubs.
Congratulations, Tanner and Professor Davis. Finally, we will present the 2021 to 2022 honors graduate from the S.J. and Jesse E. Quinney College of Natural Resources. The graduate from the Department of Wildland Resources is Emily Bonebrake, mentored by Professor Tal Avgar.
Hi, it is a great pleasure to say a few words about Emily. I won't say anything embarrassing, Emily. You already know that Emily is an excellent student and an excellent scientist, otherwise she wouldn't be here in front of you. She's amazing. And my graduate students and I are actually having a heart attack just thinking about her leaving the lab and everything falling apart. The one thing I do want to say that maybe you don't know by the fact that Emily is standing here is that she's also the nicest person that you'll ever meet. She is the kind of person that you want on your team, that you want on your side. She is supportive and optimistic and realistic, and she's been an incredibly important addition to my lab, and I really appreciate the time that you spent with us, Emily. Thank you.
Thank you, Tal. It has been amazing working with you these past 2 years. I couldn't have asked for a better research mentor. You've been amazing for my research project with all the support and encouragement you've offered throughout the years. And I couldn't have achieved all of my accomplishments without your help and the amazing setup you have for our lab and all of our lab mates. And I'm so grateful and thank you. And I can't wait to become published with you.
Congratulations, Emily and Professor Avgar. Congratulations again to all of our graduates who are now joining our expansive group of USU honors alumni across the country and around the world. In recognition of this part of their graduation, it is now my distinct pleasure to introduce Vivian Baji, USU honors alum and distinguished guest. Vivian Baji is a 2016 USU honors graduate with a major in environmental and natural resource economics. Baji is a water resource analyst at the Central Arizona Project, where she analyzes Colorado River drought impacts in Arizona and engages in scenario planning and stakeholder outreach. Vivian is an active honors alum who has supported the program in many ways, including her current service on the Honors Alumni Task Force and engagement with our students as an alumni mentor. I am so pleased to present Vivian Baji to welcome our 2021 to 2022 honors graduates as our newest Honors Aggie alumni.
Hello, and thank you so much for the introduction, Dr. Miller, and for your continued leadership and vision for honors. A big thank you also to Vice Provost Dr. Barr for your commitment to honors at Utah State. I want to say hi and welcome again to all the friends, family, and colleagues of the honors graduates who are here to support our newest graduates. We also have honors alumni on the call, which is the group I'm representing today. To the honors graduates, congratulations on your tremendous accomplishment. All of the alumni here know how hard you've worked to get here. Many long hours working on projects, thinking through your capstones and making them a reality. I'm so honored to be a part of your honors graduation and to have the opportunity to learn more about you and the capstone projects you completed. Now that you've been presented as honors graduates, the next step of your honors journey is to join us as alumni. You don't have to fill out any paperwork for this step. It happens automatically as you graduate with honors. And we're so happy to have the 33 of you join us. I'd like to share a little bit about the alumni group. At the last census, which was last year, we were over 1,100 strong with great representation from folks from a variety of backgrounds and careers, from recent graduates to those that graduated over 10 years ago. And what's really special is that over 60% of our alumni that honors is engaged with are over 10 years out from graduation. So people do tend to stay involved and give back throughout their careers. You're a very accomplished group of honor students who will no doubt go on to do great things. My invitation to you is to remember your experiences and the people you met through honors. And as alumni, you will have lots of opportunities to give back to the program. Through existing initiatives like the Alumni Mentor Program and Ask an Alum, you'll be able to help future honors graduates with the issues they face and questions they have. The Alumni Network is also looking forward to whatever new events or programs Dr. Miller and her staff cook up for alumni to participate in, both to help existing students and to network more with each other. So stay tuned on that. Hopefully that's enough of a teaser for what being an alum might look like. I'm sure you've seen the impact alumni have had on the program, and I hope that you will stay connected in the future and join us in helping build honors at Utah State. For now, enjoy the rest of your graduation week because you've definitely earned it.
Thank you, Vivian, and congratulations again to all of our graduates. It is now my pleasure to present the 2022 Joyce Kincaid Outstanding Honors Capstone Awards, which are named for Dr. Joyce Kincaid, Professor of English and tireless supporter of undergraduate research here at USU. These annual awards recognize graduating honor students who complete truly exceptional, ambitious, and original capstone projects that stand out in a field of excellent work. Winners are exemplary honor students in every way. The University Honors Program asks mentors to nominate students whose work meets these very high standards, and a committee selects winners from among the nominees. We received many nominations of impressive work this year, and the committee decided to honor 2 students, one in the area of humanities, arts, and social sciences, and the other in the area of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Each of the winners will receive a commemorative plaque and a cash award. When I announce the winners' names, I ask that they and their faculty mentors, whom we'd also like to honor, turn on their cameras. I am so pleased to recognize the outstanding work of these 2 students, but I'm just going to be able to do one at a time, so I apologize for the suspense. First, this year's winner from a discipline in the humanities, arts, and social sciences is Olivia Brock, a statistics and art history double major mentored by Professor Alexa Sand for the capstone project entitled Visions of Science, an art historical exploration of medieval scientific manuscripts. We've asked Professor Sand to say a few congratulatory words about Olivia's work.
Congratulations, Olivia. This is a hard secret to keep for me. I have to say that when Olivia first came to my office as a freshman 5 years ago, I was like, wow, this one's a keeper. She's interested in everything, and not in a kind of disorganized scattershot way, but like in this incredibly hungry, curious way. And so it's been just so exciting to be along for the journey with you on the projects we've worked on together. And this project particularly, I love the way it grew organically out of your interest in science and scientific instrumentation and your experience as a curator. And so it was really sort of, I felt sort of unimportant to the content of the project, because I knew that you had so much expertise already, like more than I do in this particular area. And I knew that you would turn something very professional out. And I want to encourage everybody to go see the exhibit, which is open through graduation day on Friday in the library, and also to check out the online version of the exhibition, which will be launching on Friday. So we're going to have a little reception from 1 to 2 on Friday if you want to come down to the Merrill Kasier Library. So congratulations, Olivia.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations, Olivia, and thank you, Alexa, for your mentoring. This year's winner from a discipline in the sciences, technology, and engineering or mathematics field is Emily Bonebrake, a wildlife ecology and management major and mentored by Professor Tal Avgar for the capstone project entitled Estimating Cattle Density Using Wildlife Cameras.
I already told you all about Emily and how amazing she is. I would add that I have currently 8 graduate students in my lab, PhD students and master students, all wonderful scientists, talented, brilliant, nice, smart, hardworking. Emily does not fall short of any of them. She can achieve whatever she wants in life. And again, I really appreciate your time with us, Emily, and I'm looking forward to finalizing that manuscript and getting it published.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, Emily. And thank you, Tal, for your mentorship. The work of the University Honors Program would not be possible without the incredible support of the many faculty, alumni, and staff who engage with our students. Today, I want to extend special thanks to each one of the faculty members here today. Your modeling of academic excellence and commitment to mentoring allows these outstanding students to take the honors programs Dare to Know while they are in college and for the rest of their lives. Thank you for this immensely important work. Each year, the honors program recognizes one person who has not only helped students in these ways, but has also supported honors in a number of other capacities, teaching honors courses and discussing pedagogy with other instructors, advising and recruiting honor students within a department or college, running honors book labs, and just being a go-to behind-the-scenes supporter of the program. I am so pleased to announce this year's winner of the Friend of Honors Award, who has helped in all of these ways, Professor Laura Gelfand from the Department of Art and Design. I'd like to invite Professor Gelfand to just say a few words.
First things first, thank you. I'm thrilled. I adore working with honors students, but mostly congratulations to all you graduates. What incredible work you've done. I'm so impressed and thrilled for you, and I hope that you celebrate your incredible accomplishment. You are now part of a very small group of people who have earned college degrees and in honors particularly. It's so impressive, and working with you is such a thrill. I know all the faculty join me in congratulating you. Then I also want to congratulate Chris for running such a terrific program. You and your staff do an amazing job, and it's always a pleasure to do anything with honors. So really, thank you. I'm thrilled, and congratulations to all of you. Well done.
Thank you, Professor Gelfand, and congratulations to you as well. In this spirit of celebrating both honor students and faculty, it has become a tradition to close our annual honors medallion ceremony with an announcement about the coming year's honors last lecture in the fall, which is our signature event that comes every fall. An honors student committee spent hours interviewing an impressive pool of exceptional faculty nominated by students, and they selected Professor David Brown from the Department of Mathematics and Statistics as the 2022 Honors Outstanding Professor. Professor Brown will deliver the 47th annual Honors Last Lecture in fall 2022. Thank you all so much for being here to celebrate our 2021 and 2022 Utah State University honors graduates, and to applaud the outstanding teaching and mentoring of the faculty who have helped them throughout their time at USU. Thanks to the honors program staff and the team at Blue Light Media for their work to make this event a success. And thanks again to Vivian Baji and her reminder that all of you graduates are now joining the Honors Aggie alumni family. Welcome to that family. We invite all of you in Logan to join us on the quad starting at 4:30 for a celebration of our graduates and the end of this academic year. Thank you for being here today, and congratulations again to our graduates.